All right, so let's take you now to the 16th Greater Johannesburg Conference. That's where my colleague Mbalenhle Mthethwa is. Mbali, a very good afternoon to you. Now, earlier on, of course, you spoke to the ANC's Secretary General, Fikile Mbalula. He had a lot to say. Just give us a sense then in terms of his official address there and also what he had to say on the outskirts of that conference.
Well, the lines have been drawn as the chairpersons and the other members of the top five are contesting the positions of the top five, and really the SG coming here to remind the delegates here about what is at stake and what is important, and reminding the delegates that this conference takes place at a time when the ANC has lost ground in terms of the voter numbers, and really just urging them to vote in people who are going to assist with regaining those lost numbers, as well as ensuring that they also address several internal issues. These are issues of factional battles and internal issues. And he said that if the ANC does not address the issue of factional battles, they will find themselves leading from the opposition benches, and really just cautioning those who are going to be voting during this conference to keep that in mind when they do that. Also just warning about the fact that they are losing favor with residents. But we did speak to the Secretary General on a few challenges that are faced by this very region. You will know that there was that recent revitalization program in the inner city to ensure that those who are trading in the informal sector do so with the permission of the city of Johannesburg by issuing smart cards to informal traders in the inner city. We asked the Secretary General what the stance is on immigration and who should be the one to trade in the inner city. He was a bit tight-lipped on that and did not quite give us a response, but did indicate that work has already been done to ensure that that space is that issue is resolved, and that space is reserved for those who are allowed, or legally so, to trade in the inner city. Other questions emerge. You will remember the sentiments that were made by the national government about the lack of capacity of some of those who are then deployed into positions of authority, be it in the provincial government or local government and other spheres of government. You will remember those words that were uttered, such as "you can sing very well, but capacity dololo." He was asked about that, and if those who will be emerging victorious in this conference will be those with capacity, and if they've made an effort to ensure that those who are then deployed into positions of governance do indeed have the capacity to run efficient municipalities or spheres of government, and saying that, you know, they are really working towards that, and that they are resolute in ensuring that they gain the lost ground, and that is the one commitment. However, he also just did outline the fact that he believes that the delegates rather that are here at the conference are resolute and are of one mind, and that is to regain lost ground. I'm going to just take a step out of the shot just to show you what exactly is happening over here. And I see one of the delegates who is actually going to be contesting, and I'm walking up to him. This is the current regional secretary, Sasabona Mangan, who is also contesting right now to speak to us. Very strong words coming from the Secretary General about issues of factionalism, and the warnings that if the ANC is not careful and if they continue with the infighting, they might find themselves leading from the opposition. What do you make of this warning?
No, the SG is very correct. We cannot find ourselves associating ourselves with factional groupings that are at the end of the African National Congress. And I can tell you, Mbali, I have led this region since 2018. I have never been part of those factional politics because I believe they are wrong for the ANC, and I must lead by example. Not just to say, no, we don't want factionalism, but on the other side, you are part of factionalism. Of course, when we go to conference, you will have different lobby groups. It's allowed. Beyond conference, you must lead as a leadership collective, lead everyone, including those that did not support you. That's how the ANC must function, and I believe that this conference will be able to come out very clear on that particular element.
And what about the comments about an existential crisis, that the ANC is actually on the brink of an existential crisis? What do you then say to that comment? Do you think the delegates recognize that there is an existential crisis, and that if there is no way of addressing internal matters amicably without them falling into the public domain, that the end of the ANC is near?
Look, you know, the ANC have diagnosed the problem very well. We know what is the problem. There is no question. So this conference is not about to look on what is the problem. We even know what kind of a treatment do we need to treat the illness. The only problem is that, which is what this conference must deal with. There is no one who wants to agree and accept that they are ill, and they need to use the treatment that we all agree is the right treatment, you know, to treat that particular illness. So the conference should be able to speak to that. All of us, individually and collectively, we need to take responsibility in terms of where we find the African National Congress in, and we need to self-correct so that the African National Congress can survive, not for ourselves, but for the people of South Africa and the world.
Okay. Are the numbers numbering? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Sasabona's numbers are very clear, numbering. They are very numbering. There is no challenge.
No problem. There you have it. That is one of the delegates here, or rather the candidates for the role of regional secretary, contesting and going against others who are going to be voted for at this conference. He is the current regional secretary of the ANC, going against Chris Vondo, as well as another delegate. For now, though, it is back to you in studio.
Right, thank you so much, Balendle Mthethwa, there for us covering the 16th Greater Johannesburg Conference.